All right, good evening again, everyone. Thank you for being here and joining our virtual admissions general information session featuring financial aid. My name is Jen Seeley. I'm the recruitment manager in the Office of Admissions. We're also joined here tonight by Jane Filler, my colleague in admissions, and she will be helping to monitor the chat that you can ask questions throughout the whole program. And then we also have Shelby Metzger, who is Assistant Director of Financial Aid, and she will close out the presentation and talk all things financial aid and scholarships, FAFSA, Maryland Promise, all of those fun things. Again, please use the chat if you have questions. We will have time at the end, but we will also answer your questions live as we can get to those. So I will go ahead and kick things off and share my screen again and go through a presentation for you of some general information. Okay, to get things started, here's an overview of our student profile. We serve about 7,300 credit students, and we also have about 4,700 non-credit or continuing education and workforce development students. 70% of our students are part-time, and about 30% of FCC students are part-time or full-time students. You'll find that we have small class sizes. Our average student to faculty ratio is 15 to 1. And about 30% of FCPS graduates attend FCC. So you have classes with a lot of your friends and see familiar faces around campus. There is something for everyone at FCC, depending on what your career or academic path is. So whether you're seeking an associate degree or you just want to take a class for personal enrichment, we have something for you. Our different options allow you to have a school-life balance as well. So depending on what your goals are, again, you can use short-term training as an option. These are continuing education programs. They can be completed fairly quickly, usually within 6 months to a year, depending on if you're full-time or a part-time student. These do not have academic credit weight to them. So the short-term training programs happen at the Monroe Center. Again, it's to quickly get you into a career or an industry. We also offer credit certificates. So these are 30 academic credits. As a full-time student, it will take you about a year to complete a certificate. And then most commonly associated with community colleges are associate degrees. As a full-time student, that's 60 credits, so 2 full years to complete your associate's degree. And a lot of our students, again, with that work-life balance, we know that they have other obligations or jobs or family life. So you can come here at FCC as a full-time or a part-time student. And you also can take classes in different formats that fit your needs, whether that's an in-person class, online, or a hybrid class, a mixture of in-person and online. And classes are offered during the day, in the evenings, and there's even some on weekends if that's better for your schedule. We offer over 85 different academic programs. Some of our most popular programs include the health sciences, business, STEM, cybersecurity, and general studies. General studies is a popular major for students if they aren't sure what they want to major in, but they still want to earn college credits. So in this program, you'll complete your required general education courses that all majors have to complete. And then it will allow you to select some elective courses so you can figure out what you may be interested in. Students also have an option of studying in umbrella degree programs. So it combines related degrees under a broad category. So these include an AA in Arts and Humanities, an AA in Social Sciences, or an AS in STEM. So for example, say you know you like working with computers, but you aren't sure if you want to do information technology or cybersecurity or computer science, you could major in the umbrella program and get an AS in STEM and take STEM-related classes around all of those areas in addition to your gen ed classes. So you have a little bit of flexibility, but it's still a more focused class areas that you're going to be taking in the general academic area that you're interested in. We'll make sure that we put a link in the chat for you that has a link to all of our different programs, both credit and the CE non-credit side. On the website, on the credit side, you can look up curriculum pathways. So basically it tells you the classes you need to take in order to get a degree in a certain program. And it will show you the sequence, how many credits each class are, all of those different things. Then on the continuing education and workforce development side, there are many program options, and I'm going to go through those briefly in the next slide. But in addition to those, we have community education type resources. So we have classes for adults 65 and older. They can take Institute for Learning and Retirement. We'll have music lessons for students of all ages. Lifelong learning are courses that offer an opportunity to discover something new or revisit a hobby. So these could be things like oil painting or a cooking class. Anyone can take those. We also have a popular Kids on Campus program that happens during the summer for younger students, 16 and younger, to participate in summer program that explores things like science and technology and arts and cooking and things like that. So we're not just a university that offers associate degrees. There's a lot of different pathways or options for all different types of students through all different types of walks of life. All right, here's a snapshot of some of the workforce training programs. So again, these are the non-credit programs offered at the Monroe Center. You won't receive academic credit. They will not transfer to a four-year institution, but these are great options for students who know what career or industry they want to be working in and don't necessarily need a degree. They can get the training and certifications they need and start working in those fields. So we have different programs under business solutions, our trades, our hospitality and culinary, career and technical training, and then also healthcare careers. You can enroll at FCC in the spring, summer, and fall. So all of our semesters are made up of different sessions, whether it's a 15-week session, which is the whole length of a semester, or you take a late start session like a 10-week or an 8-week or a 5-week class. So you can apply and enroll at different times throughout the year, both credit and non-credit on both sides. Our credit application, so for students pursuing certificates or associate degrees, the application is currently open for students to apply for spring 2024. So if anyone wants to start taking classes in January, summer 2024, which will begin in May, and fall 2024, which will begin in August. So if there's any high school seniors in the virtual session and you want to apply for next fall 2024, once you graduate, you can go ahead and submit your application. It is live for you to do that. As a note, anyone interested in enrolling for spring classes in January, our registration for spring classes will open on October 30th. So that's when you can start registering and enrolling in classes. So you still have time to get your application in now before all of that opens and you meet with an advisor and apply for financial aid and do all of those different things. And then registration for getting into summer and fall classes 2024, that will open in April. All right, I wanted to mention dual enrollment because I know that there are several students who signed up for this who were sophomores or juniors in high school. So again, dual enrollment, for those who aren't aware, it allows you to earn a high school credits while also taking college classes. So you get dual credit. It goes towards your high school diploma and you get college credit for those classes. Now FCPS students receive free tuition for courses, so it's become more popular over the last semester. You definitely want to work with your high school counselors throughout this process. They have the forms that you need to submit. They know what classes you can take that count for both the dual credit. So work with them closely and they'll help you step by step. But the 4 different general options of dual enrollment, we'll go over those briefly. There's high school based, which is when you take FCC courses at your FCPS high school or at CTC. And students will take these courses during the regular school day and they're taught by FCPS teachers. Open campus is when you take FCC courses at FCC or online. So students will take these during the day or in the evening. It's whenever FCC is offering the courses. You're signing up for an FCC class. Career pathways refers to a student exploring career options and earning industry certifications or credentials at FCC. So some common examples of these programs are healthcare careers like CNA or GNA and dental assisting, or also the hospitality and culinary track is another career pathway. Early college is when you can earn your associate degree from FCC and your high school diploma at the same time. So students will be a full-time student at FCC both during your junior and senior years of high school. So you'll actually come to FCC's campus, not go to the high school, and take classes here on campus. This is a program that sophomores must apply for. It is a competitive program, and the application deadline is April 1st, and there are limited spots. It's an early college cohort that will go through each year. Dual enrollment has a really great website. We could do a whole session on dual enrollment, but we have to get through a lot of different aspects of the college. So frederick.edu/DE has all of the information listed out for the different categories of dual enrollment. That is a really good resource to kind of start there. And then you can check in with your high school counselors. And if you have additional questions, you can always reach back out to us. A big benefit of FCC is how affordable it is for students to attend classes here. I know that cost plays a big role when students are looking at schools. So I'm happy to provide this information about FCC, what our annual cost is. So this chart will show you the cost for a full-time in-county student taking 30 credits per year. Keeping in mind you're coming for your associate's degree. If you take 15 credits each semester, so again, that's 30 each year, that will get you to 60 to get your associate's degree. So for 1 year, right now our current tuition fees is $4,717 for a full year and 30 credits. You can see it compares to four-year public colleges in state, $10,560 on average, and four-year private colleges, close to $38,000. And those numbers don't include room and board, and those are also very low numbers. So you can just see how affordable FCC really is for students. And it is a smart investment, and a lot of our students, will graduate with little or no college debt if they plan their financials accordingly. Talking a little bit about academic support. First up, we have career and academic planning services. So all students, no matter what their major is, will have an assigned academic advisor that they'll meet with them. They're encouraged to meet with them each semester to register for classes. But they'll review the academic requirements, degree plans, help you pick out classes, work with you if you aren't sure what you want to do or you need to change your major, you'll go see your advisor, all of those different things. Through that, there's also transfer services. So they will help students transfer to four-year institutions after FCC. They're familiar with articulation agreements. So we have agreements with different four-year schools, both in-state and out-of-state, of how our classes will transfer to those four-year institutions. They hold a transfer fair each year that current FCC students are able to talk with admissions reps from four-year schools that come here. They'll also bring common transfer school admissions reps to FCC that you can meet one-on-one with an advisor from that four-year school to make sure that you are on track with graduating and everything that way. There's also career services through the CAPS office. They help students, again, who are undecided, kind of exploring skills or majors or careers that may benefit them, but also they just help students in general prepare for employment. They'll hold resume workshops, how to write a cover letter, different job strategy workshops, things like that. They have a lot of connections and network students with employers and alumni for jobs and internship opportunities. They're constantly bringing different organizations and businesses onto campus that camp out in the student center during the day to interact with students, again, for potential job opportunities. There's an annual career fair that will happen for students to be able to meet with those employers, a lot of different opportunities. The Learning Commons is on here just to show that we do offer academic support, free for all students. If you need help in a class, we have a tutoring center in our library, and then we have a specific STEM tutoring center if you have questions with math, science, technology, engineering type classes. Lots of help to be able to make you successful in the classroom. And then finally on the screen is about honors. So students who participate in honors will have a competitive advantage when transferring to four-year schools and even some scholarship opportunities. You have to complete 12 honors credits at FCC and graduate with at least a 3.25 GPA in order to have honors on your college transcript from FCC. And students will complete an independent student project, kind of like a mini practicum or internship, will present at a conference, or earn some type of service or leadership certificates. Oops, 1 second. Sorry about that. Okay, next slide. Some student support services. So first here on the list, counseling and wellness. They assist students in managing personal problems which may impact their ability to meet academic and career goals. So they provide short-term solution-focused counseling, crisis intervention, assessment, and referrals to mental health resources. Next on the list is disability access services. So they support and assist students with disabilities. They will meet with the student and come up with a student success plan or an accommodation plan, which includes services in the classroom. It could be anywhere from a note taker or use of a tape recorder, or if they need a sign language interpreter or testing accommodations. It's important to know that students must self-identify and contact the DAS office, and then they'll set up an intake that involves submitting disability documentation from a qualified medical professional, and then you'll meet with a DAS counselor to determine eligibility for services. For students looking to improve their English language skills, we do offer ESL courses that range from basic to targeted to academic ESL, and it will help with instruction in grammar, reading, writing, listening, and speaking. And we have a Veteran and Military Services office on campus. They provide support for veterans, active duty personnel, National Guard, and Reserve personnel and their families. So if you're a dependent also of a veteran, you'll probably go through the Veteran and Military Services office if you plan on using different benefits. We do participate in the GI Bill and military tuition payment options. So you'll definitely want to work with the director of VMS for that. Another office on campus is our Student Success Programs office. They offer beneficial support services to students who may be experiencing academic challenges or having difficulty adjusting to a college environment, or just need some extra support. They have personalized success coaching. They have success workshops and events and connections to resources. So the first one here is about Partnership for Achieving Student Success, or PASS. This is a cohort-based program designed to enhance the college experience for new students with year-round success coaching. So PASS is specifically for new to college students. So any graduating high school seniors that would come in the fall, this could be a potential program for you. They offer a summer bridge academy where you'll get exposure to campus and some workshops to set you up to be successful for the fall. Then when you're here, they also do a winter bridge academy, which focuses more on like career assessment, how to be successful after FCC, transferring, things like that. There is an application for the PASS program, and there is also a scholarship component. So you get a scholarship for being in PASS, and then if you come back academically eligible after your first year, you will get a scholarship also at the beginning of your sophomore year. Parents Lead, Project Forward Step, and Allied Health Academy are all support programs designated for adult students at FCC. So Parents Lead is focused program designed to assist financially eligible parents while they pursue their degree at FCC. So they'll help with childcare and other expenses. Project Forward is a counseling, information, and referral program designed to meet the needs of returning adult students. And the Allied Health Academy provides training, educational support, and financial assistance to eligible students who want to prepare for employment in an allied health career field. So if anyone's interested in those, definitely starting with the Student Success Programs office is a great place to start. Now moving on to college life, it's very easy to get involved at FCC. You can join one of our 40 clubs or organizations. You can become part of our student programming body that happens on campus by joining our student program board, or you can take on a leadership role and join our student government association. Our athletic teams are part of the National Junior College Athletic Association. As a student, you can also attend a cultural event in the Mosaic Center, which stands for Making Our Space an Inclusive Community. You could also participate in leadership conferences and service projects, or attend social events that are always happening on around campus, like Welcome Back Celebration or Spring Fling picnics. All right, and finally, my last slides to talk to you all about are the enrollment steps and what you need to do, where to begin, all of that. So FCC is open admissions, which means it's a guarantee acceptance. All students are welcome here. We do not have a deadline of when you need to apply by. It's definitely important to know when classes start, because you just want to make sure that you do have enough time to complete all of your enrollment steps and hopefully meet with an academic advisor and then have time to register and get into classes. The sooner you can get into your classes once registration opens, the more flexibility you're going to have when building your schedule, and different classes won't be filled up and you won't have to get on wait lists for classes and things like that. Again, the credit application is live for spring 24, so when classes start in January, and then also summer and fall 2024. So if you're going to start in May or August. The first thing you want to do is apply to the college. Frederick.edu/apply will take you right to the credit application. It is free. There's no application fee, and there's no letters of recommendation you need to submit, no essays, nothing like that. Please keep in mind, if you are a dual enrollment student and you will be attending FCC after you graduate high school, you will need to submit a new application. So you can select a major, and so we can just roll you over from a dual enrollment student to a degree-seeking student and put you in that correct major. You definitely want to apply for financial aid. Shelby's going to cover all of that, so I'm just going to let her, the expert, handle that when we get there. Once you apply to the college, you will get an acceptance letter in the mail from the admissions office that will have your FCC student ID number and your FCC email address. When you get that information, you can then go ahead and reset your password to be able to log into your student accounts. So it's different things like your email. PeopleSoft is how you'll add or drop classes. Blackboard is the system that you'll use for your actual classes. All of our new students coming through, we have a virtual new student orientation that you'll take. Again, it's at your own pace, online. We encourage you to do this before you meet with your academic advisor, so you'll have plenty of time to do this. It has different modules that go through expectations of a student at FCC, different resources on campus, answer some different questions, talk about different areas or departments that you can be involved in, all that kind of stuff. All students who are pursuing credit classes most likely will have to do placement tests or send testing exemptions. So for these, our placement tests are in reading, writing, and math. If you need to do placement testing, you can do it on campus in Linganore Hall. We have a newly beautiful testing center over there that you'll take those. They are free to take those. All you need is an FCC student ID number. So once you apply and get that ID number, you can go ahead with your testing. They are untimed. There are study guides on our website so you can practice, know what to expect. If you have a little bit of test anxiety, you can prepare for those. They're not graded. It's not part of your overall college GPA. It's just an assessment to determine what level of math and English you'll start in at FCC. Now you may have some different testing exemptions. So I'm going to go here, jump to the next slide quick, and here's some examples of most of our testing exemptions. So if you have any of these, like SAT or ACT scores, you can submit those. If you've taken AP classes and have scored a 3 or higher on these certain exams, if your overall unweighted FCPS or Maryland GPA is a 3.0 or higher, then you're exempt from all placement testing and don't have to do that. There's certain transition experiences courses you can take through FCPS. The MCAP, certain scores are testing exemptions. So it's really beneficial as you're applying. if you have some of these exemptions, to send us your test scores or send us your high school transcript so we can get those exemptions put in the system for you so that when it comes time for you to meet with an advisor and register for classes, this is already in place. Again, if you have any of those exemptions, you can send those to transfer evaluation at frederick.edu. That goes to our transfer evaluators in the registration office, and they'll put them in the system for you. After you complete testing or send in your exemptions, then you will eventually meet with your academic advisor. Again, you'll have an assigned academic advisor based on your major. And even if you aren't sure what you want to study and are coming in as general studies, there's particular people that will meet with you for those areas. All of our new to college students, so recent high school grads coming here to college for the first time, will go through what we call ROAR, Required Orientation, Advising, and Registration. Part of that first piece is that virtual new student orientation, and then your ROAR advising appointment, you'll meet with your academic advisor. They'll help you pick out classes, kind of navigate you through initially learning how to register for those classes, and then you can get into those classes through PeopleSoft. So once you're registered for classes, we encourage you to confirm your scholarships, check on your financial aid. There's different payment options you can get on payment plans each semester, so you're not having to pay the whole lump sum of tuition up front. You can kind of break that up into monthly payment plans or whatever is easier for you to handle. So that's a quick snapshot of all of the enrollment steps and kind of where to start. And then finally, here's our contact information from admissions. If after tonight you have more questions, please reach out to us. We also encourage you to come to some of our upcoming recruitment events. On a week from tomorrow, on next Wednesday, we're having our college night. It's our annual college fair. So FCC and 90 other colleges and universities will be there in their athletic center in the gym that you can come and walk around to look at different college options. Then we have our fall open house on Saturday, October 21st. You'll get a tour of campus. You'll get to walk around at an information fair and talk with faculty and staff about our programs and services. You'll hear from current FCC students, and then we also have a career exploration workshop at the open house, led by our Director of Career Services. We will have an adult recruitment event for adults ages 24 and over and talk about specific services or opportunities for our adult students at FCC on October 25th. Then we are having FCC Night for High School Seniors. This is a recruitment event in November, just for high school seniors and your guardians or parents, whoever you want to bring. But we'll give relevant information for high school seniors. And then if anyone is interested in our continuing education and workforce development or our non-credit programs through the Monroe Center, those short-term training programs, they are having an open house on November 28th in the evening. You can always sign up for a campus tour. So if you go to frederick.edu/admissions, that will take you to the admissions webpage and click on upcoming events, and you will see all of these events listed there that you can get more information and register for those. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen and allow Shelby now to hop on, and she's going to cover the financial aid side of things. And like I said, we will open it up for questions at the end. But if you have any for me too in the meantime, now you can drop them in the chat and I'll head over there and answer those for you. So.
Good evening, everyone. Like Jen mentioned, my name is Shelby Metzger. I am the Assistant Director of Financial Aid here at FCC. I do like to mention that I am a first-generation college graduate. It just means neither of my parents went to college. There is a lot of exploration for students like me because you are adjusting and learning about everything college-related. For me, that resulted in some student loan debt. So I'm here to hopefully help you avoid some of that. I do use the pronouns she, her, and ella for our Spanish-speaking friends. We do have some important changes coming up with the FAFSA. In prior years, the FAFSA was available on October 1st. And this year, we do not have the date that it will be available. The U.S. Department of Education has told us that it will be before the ball drops on New Year's Eve. So we will see. We are hoping that it'll be early December, but it's possible that it could be late December or early January. If you are interested in starting courses in the spring semester, we even have some late start courses for the fall. The FAFSA that you would be doing is the 2023-2024 FAFSA, and that one's available right now for you to complete. For those of you planning to start in August of 2024, the 24-25 is the one that I'm referencing, may not be available until late December or early January. One thing that is not changing is that March 1st is the priority deadline for some of the state aid programs. So that means if you are planning to pursue a college or university in the state of Maryland, you do want to make sure you get your FAFSA submitted by March 1st so you can be considered for state aid. Now, with that said, if you'd like to start classes in the spring, you should still go ahead and do the FAFSA, even though we're past that Maryland priority deadline, because there are some state financial aid programs such as Maryland Promise, which we'll talk more in depth about, that you could start receiving in the spring semester. Students and parents do need to create an FSA ID and password, and I do recommend that you go ahead and do that now. Even if you're a high school senior, for example, that's not planning to start until August, it won't hurt for you to go ahead and have that on file. That way, when the FAFSA does open in December or January, you can go ahead and get started on it. In some cases, both parents may be required to create the FSA ID and password. For example, if you are a student in a household where both of your parents are married, even if that's your one biological parent and a step parent, both parents may be required to create that FSA ID and password for the FAFSA effective with the 24-25 academic year. If you're a parent that already has students in college and you're familiar with the FAFSA, you probably already have a login for FAFSA and would not need to create a new one. But if you're a parent who's married, you may have to go in and have your spouse create their username and password. With the 24-25 FAFSA, this is some kind of technical jargon. I just like to try to familiarize folks with it. When you submit a FAFSA, you used to get an expected family contribution or EFC. And with the 24-25 FAFSA, it'll be the student aid index. What that number is just a number that tells the financial aid office what you qualify for as far as federal student aid is concerned. My most favorite thing to talk about in financial aid is the Maryland Community College Promise Scholarship. We often hear about, we wish college could be for free, and this is our opportunity in the state of Maryland. Maryland Promise can now be awarded for part-time students who are enrolled in at least 6 credit hours. So for those of you on the webinar today who are maybe considering starting in the spring, you could receive it even if you're just starting out slow, you want to be a part-time student, or if you're anything like me, I had to work full-time when I was in school, so maybe you're taking just a couple of classes a semester. Maryland Promise may be a financial aid option for you. Something else that's really exciting is there's no longer the March 1st deadline consideration for promise consideration, rather. You can submit the FAFSA at any point in time up until April 15th. So, for example, if you're a current student or planning to enroll in January, you can go ahead and submit your FAFSA and still be considered for promise. This scholarship does cover up to $5,000 in tuition and fees at the community college level. So like Jen was mentioning, we are a very affordable college to attend. If you are a full-time student and you remember her slide with the charts, your tuition and fees could be fully covered by Maryland Promise if you're an in-county resident. Another very exciting part about Maryland Promise is that it's available for middle-income folks. So if you are a student who is single, or you're a student who lives with a single parent, their adjusted gross income from 2022 would need to be $100,000 or less for the 24-25 FAFSA. If you are a student who is married or your parents are married, it's $150,000 or less. So traditionally speaking, these would be our students that usually only qualify for student loans, and now our state government has the Maryland Community College Promise Scholarship available. If you're interested in more information, I did include the link at the bottom so you can snap a photo or jot down the website. A quick Google will also lead you right to the MHEC website as well. Scholarships are one of the things that I get asked about most frequently. There are different types of scholarships, and this is one of my biggest regrets when it comes to paying for school when I was starting out in college. I did not apply for scholarships because I thought I would probably qualify for federal student aid, and I was right, but it was only federal direct student loan. So as far as institutional financial aid at FCC, we do have the FCC Foundation Scholarship. Students can go to frederick.edu and select FCC Foundation in the top right-hand corner. This application is available every semester. So for example, the fall application deadline or the application will open February 1st and close June 15th for those of you who are planning to start classes in August. Then we have the Community Foundation of Frederick County. This is a massive opportunity for Frederick County residents. They award over $2 million per academic year to Frederick County residents. Their application is only available one time per year. So for the 2024-2025 academic year that will start in August 2024, you will want to get in there and start applying on February 15th. And you'll want to already have your FAFSA on file for this application because they will ask you for some data elements from your FAFSA. Another massive question that I get a lot is where to look for scholarships. Navient, I know, is where you can go in if you have high school guidance counselors posting scholarships for you. So that's a great tool for local opportunities. Some national or nationwide opportunities, I would recommend looking on College Board or FastWeb. If you Google those, they'll come right up. These ones are opportunities where you'll go in and plug in some general demographic information about yourself, and it will tell you which scholarships that you should apply for. A great rule of thumb is to not, take yourself out of the running for any scholarships because you think, well, maybe I don't all the way meet these criteria. A lot of times folks don't apply for scholarships and then there's money left on the table. So sometimes donors for scholarships will look at other students who maybe meet 5 out of the 6 criteria for a scholarship and don't meet everything. So definitely don't eliminate yourself from applying for a scholarship if you think you might meet the majority. That goes for when you're applying for jobs once you finish with school as well. And a big thing to remember is that you should be checking back on these. So if you go in and you look today and you're like, okay, nothing fits what I'm pursuing or my information, you want to go back in and look because these databases are constantly having scholarships added. And finally, I do encourage you to inquire with high school guidance counselors too. Oftentimes, if there's super local or niche scholarships available for students who maybe went to a specific high school in the county, your guidance counselor is going to be the best resource for those. Same rule applies to them. Don't just check in today and not go back. You want to keep checking in with them to see if any additional opportunities have been added. I have our information up here on the website. Right now, emailing us is the best way to reach us if you don't want to come up to campus. We do respond to all emails within a day or two. You can also give us a call, and then we are located on the 3rd floor of Jefferson Hall. So if you want to stop by and visit us, even if you just have general questions and you haven't quite applied yet, you are welcome to contact us. We do help students with the FAFSA as well. So if you're stuck at home and you have questions about it, or your parents have questions, feel free to contact us and we can help. One thing I do want to note about college students, oftentimes financial aid can be a complicated process to understand just because there's a lot of jargon and different rules and criteria to be eligible for aid. If you want your parents to be able to ask questions about your account, there will be a FERPA, it stands for Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act authorization that you can do, so that your parents or guardians can call and ask questions about your account. So please keep that in mind. You want to be the one to contact us and we can provide information. If you give your parents access through the FERPA authorization process, then we would be able to speak with them. And I think we may have some questions, or if you guys have questions that you want to put in the chat, we'd be happy to answer those.
Hey, Shelby, there's one in the Q&A that's around the FAFSA or MISPA. Would you be able to address that one?
Yes, let's take a look. If I'm on an H-1B1 with visa, can my child apply for FAFSA or MISPA? I would recommend that you contact us directly. If you send an email to financialaid@frederick.edu, oftentimes I do have to research the visas. Typically speaking, students who are on a dependent visa may not qualify for federal student aid, but you could qualify for Maryland State financial aid using the MISPA. The MISPA, part of the MISPA criteria is that students qualify for the Maryland DREAM Act, which does require parents or students to have filed taxes in the state of Maryland for the last 3 years. For this current academic year, that would be 2022, 2021, and 2020. For the upcoming academic year, it would be 2023, 2022, and 2021. So it really just depends on the situation, and it's really based off of the student, not so much the parent. Unless we're looking at the MISPA, then the parent or the student would need to have those tax filing criteria met. And those are state income taxes. Great question.
Any other questions that anyone has? You can either drop them in the Q&A or you can put them in the chat. And so everyone knows who's on the session 2, tomorrow I will send out an email to everyone who registered that has different contact information for all the different departments and areas that we talked about. I'll have a little financial aid highlight, highlighting some of the areas Shelby talked about too, that just will have some like links and contact information so you can get to things a lot quicker that way too.
We have another one. Can I apply now for the fall of 2024 semester? I don't know if they're talking about admissions or financial aid, but do you want to do the admissions piece and then I'll cover financial?
Yeah. So yes, for the admissions application, if you are applying for fall 2024 to take classes like you're a high school senior and you're going to graduate and come here next fall, yes, the application is live, that you can go ahead and submit that tonight if you're thinking about it.
And then related to financial aid, if you're inquiring about fall 2024, you can go ahead and create your username and password, or it's known as the FSA ID and password for FAFSA, but you would not be able to go in and actually complete the FAFSA until it opens up, and we don't have a solid date on that yet. It will likely be late December or early January when the 24-25 FAFSA opens. And while I'm on that topic, I do want to mention, because Jen said there was a couple of dual enrollment students or students interested in dual enrollment on the call. If you are a dual enrollment student, you wouldn't qualify to do the FAFSA or the MISPA for the semesters in which you're taking classes through the dual enrollment program. But the tuition and fees are covered from FCPS, and I believe the books are now too. So no FAFSA for those, but you do want to make sure you're prepared for upcoming years once you complete high school.
Great questions. Anyone else have any last minute questions they'd like to ask? All right, well, I want to say thank you to both Shelby and Jane for being on here and presenting great information. And this will conclude our virtual session then. Oh, I got one more question, Shelby.
Okay.
If you're saying that you are in dual enrollment classes, we can apply for FAFSA.
No, sorry. For clarification, if you are taking dual enrollment classes, you cannot apply for FAFSA. One of the main requirements to be eligible for federal student aid based on the FAFSA is that you've completed high school. So for example, if you're a junior or senior taking dual enrollment classes now, you would not complete it until your senior year. That's when you would do the FAFSA for the next academic year. Great question.
All right, and if anyone thinks of any other questions after we hop off this virtual session, just please feel free to email us too. We can always follow up.
Tyler asked, is that for FCC or everywhere? That's everywhere. The FAFSA is a federal requirement, so it doesn't matter where you're going to school. If you have not completed high school, you do not qualify for federal student aid. Sorry, Jen.
No, it's okay. Great. All right, so thanks again for everyone for hopping on. Again, please reach out if you have questions. You can contact the admissions office or the financial aid office, depending on what your questions are. We're all here to help you, and we really appreciate you taking the time to jump on tonight. So best of luck with everything, and we hope to see you all on campus sometime. All right, have a great night. Thank you.
Bye, everyone.